Hello, today I'm here with Alex Chidiac.
Hi.
I will be asking a couple of questions for the Museum of Entrepreneurs.
Sure.
So let's go with it. First of all, I would like you to tell me your entrepreneurial history.
My entrepreneurial history, I don't like I find entrepreneurship an overused word, but I can give you some background about how I started. I came into it by coincidence, quite young actually. At 14, I had a classmate of mine who was selling his boat, and he mentioned it in passing. Mentioning that, I also had a friend who was who was brokering yachts, and I connected the two. In the end, finding out that I had made myself at the time, colossal commission for my standards. At that time, for a 14-year-old boy, it seemed like billions of dollars. It was $1,000, but it seemed like a lot of money. Anyways, I saw that there was money to be made in that. And even though I was a younger boy, I tried to pursue it. It coincided with a very good timing in Greece. It was a time of the crisis, and my English was pretty decent, so I could speak with my counterparts abroad, find solutions in buying boats in Greece, comprehend the registries, etc., etc. So basically, from 15 to 18, this is what I was doing part time, and I have no complaints. It was very decent, it was very productive. Then through that, I met someone who was buying a boat from me, and we moved forward to the defense business. Not exactly defense, a combination of yachting and defense, basically patrol boats at the time. It was very, very interesting because in the defense business you really get entangled in governments and how government affairs work, how procurements work. Very, very interesting. It's something I use till this day. And then after that, having the natural flow of events, I got entangled into the family business. My family business is shipping. And of course, my early entrepreneurial steps were very, very useful in my current shipping position.
So connecting that with the first story you provided us, what is success to you? Do you find a story of a 14-year-old Alex selling his first boat and an Alex nowadays doing a very significant contract at the same success rate, meaning that a success still is a success for you?
Success is changes. Definition of success, for me at least, this is my opinion, definition of success constantly changes. My definition of success 5 years ago is certainly not my definition of success today, and I really hope for my own good that in 5 years my definition of success will be different. I think that your definition of success should constantly progress, should constantly change, and should be very malleable depending on market circumstances. Your success should be flexible, so to say that if you have a goal and you want to, for example, be the top in the automotive industry and you get a chance to become a top official in the shipping industry, don't focus on your initial goal and use it as a possibility, a door to progress elsewhere, because you lose many opportunities.
How do you define failure? And if you have experienced it, how did you break through it?
Well, I define failure as a very good lesson. It's a very tough lesson, especially if it's a big failure. But without failures, you don't become who you are. You don't learn many things. So I think that failures are very necessary. And I define, to get back to your question, I define failure as a necessity and a lesson.
All right, seems fair. As success is something that progresses you through and makes you another man, and as you said, it's continuously evolving, so do failures at the same rate. So what is a life as an entrepreneur like, or as a businessman, let's call it with another term? What is a typical day at work?
It's very different every day. I can never give you I wouldn't like my day to be stagnant, to remain the same 365 days a year. So basically, your life is to You are a promoter for your product. You are a promoter for your baby, whether that's a shipping company, a car, a bottle of water, anything. Your day-to-day life is seeing how to improve what you have on the table, what you're working on at that point in time, because an entrepreneur should be versatile, should be able to change the topic of his entrepreneurship and his business. So whatever you have on the table at that moment, this is what I do, whatever project I have on the table at that moment, I do my best to see how to improve it, how to look at all the small details. I find myself a bit fastidious on details, sometimes a bit more than I should. But I'm a perfectionist, so I could say that my days are improving whatever project I have at that very moment. I travel from time to time, depending on my projects, but on a day-to-day, I improve my already existing projects.
Thus overcoming most problems by keeping your identity.
You could say troubleshooting.
Exactly. Or detecting and preventing. So, a few questions about your business. As we mentioned before, you're now a ship owner. You're in the medical industry, and you covered the question, when did it all start? So my other question is, when was your first big breakthrough?
My first big breakthrough. I bought our first ship under my leadership in 2018. That was, I wouldn't say breakthrough. Breakthrough was when I sold it, and I found out what kind of profit it yielded through its 3-year course of life, under my company at least. But I would say those 3 years were my breakthrough. I learned the day-to-day costs of a ship. I learned that you can make money on the ship in a bad market. I would say that it wasn't an instantaneous breakthrough. I think it was a gradual breakthrough, but I wouldn't say that I could operate and I could work as I am today if I didn't spend those 3 years working on that Supermax vessel.
And where do you see the business going? Or in general, the whole industry that you're affiliated with?
The shipping industry is something which is constantly evolving. It's an industry which has been around for several years and will be around for several years. I'm honored to come from the culture that invented it. I'm half Lebanese. The Phoenicians were the first who brought shipping into the world spectrum. They had cedar-made boats which they used to move around the Lebanese coastline. So going to that.
And you're very particular mix because you're half Lebanese, half Greek.
Half Lebanese, half
so
Greek.
So the true creators of, you could say, shipping.
I think genes-wise, I am very blessed. It's true. So I see that it's something never-ending. But of course, whether we like it or not, sustainability and green energy and consumption is the future for most industries, shipping included. But I think we lose the big picture by focusing on sustainability and green energy. We start losing the essence of shipping, and the essence of shipping is creating a vessel of a certain size which can accommodate more and more cargo, not burn less and less fuel. Because in the end of the day, the more cargo you accommodate on a certain level and size of ship, the less emissions you have per ton. So the future of my industry, I would say, is now on emissions and green energy, but I think in future it should be evolving on the type of vessel, the capacity of a vessel, and the technology of a vessel to accommodate, excuse me, more and more cargo and in more and more efficient routes.
So overall in the performance of the actual vessel.
True.
So who were your mentors along the way? And of course I'm not asking you to provide actual names, but what were the most significant lessons that you took and you inherited and kept them along with you up until this point?
I believe in mentors a great deal. I think that what makes you, I could say what makes you an entrepreneur and what makes you successful would be having correct mentors, because 90% of the time what you've been through, someone else has been through already. So someone who is significantly older than you has been through things that you're going through right now. So what I always tended to do in my business life is whenever I would meet someone or cooperate with somebody I found stimulating, older than me, more educated, more knowledgeable, I always tended to also develop a friendship with him and learn things from him. I had quite a few mentors through my life, starting with my father, but not limited to that. I had from mentors from totally different backgrounds, giving me totally different feedback. And I think that contributes to the way I deal with hardships day to day to a great deal.
And one last question. If there's one piece of advice you would give to anyone wanting to start his own business, not limited to your own industry, this is the first question, and then to someone that wants to be at the shipping industry.
Well, one piece of advice, unfortunately social media is destroying the perception of entrepreneurship. There's no such thing as easy money.
You can say that again.
If you don't sweat, if you don't work your off, excuse my French, but if you don't really tire yourself, you won't be successful. If you work hard, if you keep your head down, if you're good at time management, because there are 24 hours in a day, you should know where to allocate those 24 hours. If you allocate those 24 hours in the wrong place, whether you work hard or you don't, it's a mistake. If you allocate those 24 hours in the correct place, don't lose time and work hard, it's a certainty that you're going to become successful.
So this concludes our short interview. Thank you so much, Alex.
Pleasure.
And I'll see you again in the future.